Hey everyone, today we are going to be talking about atomic structure and the three subatomic particles that make up an atom. And we're going to be taking some notes. Are you ready? Here we go. So to start off, we're going to go ahead and title our page Atomic Structure. So you should be following along in your notebook. And here we go. There we go. Now you can see. Okay, so atomic structure is the title of our note page. Now, to start off, we're going to need to make the basic part of the atom, which is going to be basically three circles. So I'm going to go use the same color, and I'm going to make a center dotted line, and then two circles, solid lines around that. Doesn't have to be perfect, just like mine. All right, so now, what are all these parts and what goes inside? We are going to start with the inside, these that are positive. So we're going to add three pluses or positive protons. So right here, we're going to write protons. Now remember, if you did the Addams Family story, you remember what our protons look like. So remember, they had eyes that looked like stars, and they were happy, 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 so positive. All right. Now, a little bit about protons. They are positive, and we're going to write a plus sign to remember. Something else is that they are in the nucleus. Now, the nucleus is just the center of the atom. So they're in the nucleus, and they are large. So in my picture, they may not look as big, but remember, atoms are really, really small. So they are large compared to the whole atom. Their mass is 1 AMU, and that just stands for atomic mass unit. It's just a way to measure, like we measure ourselves or weigh ourselves in pounds. And because atoms are so small, their unit to measure their mass is AMU. And this determines our identity. So usually you wear like a school ID. We're going to add school ID here. That is like your protons. They determine the identity of that proton. So once you know how many protons, you know exactly what the identity is of the atom. So I'm just going to square that around and point to our protons. Okay, the next particle that we are going to talk about is the neutrons. I'm going to change colors, and our neutrons are also going to be inside the nucleus. So here we're going to draw zeros or mini circles inside the nucleus. I'm drawing 4 of those, so make sure yours matches mine. And now we're going to write neutrons. So, neutrons, if you remember that face, zeros for eyes, and they were neutral. Neutrons are neutral in the nucleus. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so neutral, that just basically means they have no charge, that's why the mouth is just there, because they don't have any feelings. They're just neutral. They are also in the nucleus. Remember, you're following along with me, okay? They are also the same size as our protons, so they are large. The mass is 1 AMU, same as our protons. And they're basically dead weight because they weigh something, but they don't add to the charge. They're just there. Oop. All right, that's it for our neutrons. Same thing, I'm going to point to our neutrons. Okay, so now in the center, we have our nucleus. All right, our nucleus is basically, it's just there. Inside our nucleus, what do we have? are protons plus neutrons. And this also determines the mass. It is in the center, and it is positive. Why would it be positive? Well, look what's inside. We have pluses and we have zeros. So what's the overall charge of the nucleus? Positive, exactly. So I'm going to do the same type of outline, dotted line, and do our arrow. That's our nucleus. Okay, we're missing one subatomic particle. That is going to be our electrons. Electrons. Now those are a little bit smaller, and those are very negative. They are angry. Negative signs, grrr. All right. So our electrons, we're going to draw 2 on the first circle, and then we're going to draw 1 on the outer circle. And I drew them as negative signs because they are negative. Now, we're going to add our charge here just so we remember they are negative, which is a minus sign. They are outside the nucleus. They are also teeny tiny, they're small compared to our protons and neutrons. And their mass, because they're so teeny tiny, their mass is actually 0 AMU. And those are the electrons. All right, same thing. We see one here, we see one there. There's 3 of them in our picture. Now, we do call our outermost electrons valence electrons. Now remember, I'm saying valence electrons. I'm pointing to the outside because they are valence electrons on the outermost ring. So we're going to label those too, just so we remember. Valence electrons. You want to say that with me? Valence electrons. Good job. Okay. Electrons on outer most ring. They determine reactivity, which also means, are they going to be chill or cray-cray? Chill or cray. Those guys determine what that's going to be. Only the electrons on the outermost ring. So those are the valence electrons. Good job. All right, you with me so far? Now, one more thing we're going to add, and that's going to be our energy levels. So you should have a little bit more space, and our energy levels are just our rings. So I'm going to add it over here. You can add it wherever you have space. Energy levels. Now, those also are called many things. So I'm going to put all of their nicknames. Also known as, AKA, rings, shells. They can be called the electron cloud. They can also be called shells, rings, electron cloud, energy levels. There you go. Those are the main names for those rings on the outside. So our energy levels are going to be here and here. So those are where the electrons are. Where electrons hang. That is an H. All right. Okay, so those are energy levels. If you want, you could add the arrows like this. There you go. And that is our atomic structure and the main particles of an atom. Thanks for watching, and make sure you have all of these notes paused if you need to, and we'll see you next time.